Good morning, everyone. I'm Rick Stanley, your host on Chamber Talk on 104.3 Seacoast Oldies. Thank you for joining me this morning. My guest today is one of the owners of Seacoast Oldies. He's been on many, many times. You hear him all the time anyway. I don't know why he wants to be on my show. He's got enough shows of his own. He's kind of dominating the radio station, if you ask me. But Andy Austin is here again.
Well, good morning, Rick.
And it's great to have you because I'm teasing you, obviously, because I love to hear you on the radio. So, yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
No, things are going well here. We've been, super busy the last couple of months, and I find that coming on Chamber Talk allows us to really talk about different things beyond, the regular things that we do on the morning show every single day, and. I always welcome people to come on the morning show, too. Yeah. Otherwise, it's 5 hours of me, and I would get tired of hearing me, too. Yeah. So, Rick, anytime you want to come on the morning show... Yeah, you have to get up in the morning to be on the morning show? I got some time coming up, so you could you can get in here at 4:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'll be right down next week. I will. Full disclosure on this, we normally tape Chamber Talk at the Chamber office sometime during the week, and I'm down here at, Control Central, downtown Sanford, on all the equipment is here. I mean, I really feel like a big timer here. The world headquarters of York County's morning show, Seacoast Oldies, and on Sundays, the Blues Lounge. Right, yeah, I've listened to that. That's awesome. You have a lot of equipment down here. Mm-hmm. I have a little recorder and 2 microphones up in Springvale. I imagine this recording is just going to be awesome coming on. Yeah, it's going to sound like Dark Side of the Moon. Wow. It's going to put that right in a corner. That would be great. Andy, I always think of little things, there's not really big things, but you were on Facebook this week, and you were up at Castle of the Clouds. It just so happens, I had gone by there the same day. I had to take a day and go up and pick up a wood stove way up in Lincoln. So we went that way, and it happened to be the same day, so we go right by Castle of the Clouds entrance there. Yep. And I don't think much of it. I've been there years and years ago. And then I get home, and the next morning I see on Facebook, you and your girlfriend were up there that day. Yeah, it's a date in the clouds, you called it. Yeah, she had mentioned a few times in conversation that she'd never been to Castle in the Clouds. And she's from New Hampshire, and I put that in my memory bank. And, we're just really busy that sometimes the personal stuff takes a backseat, and that the other person in that relationship is, putting in effort, and you want to make sure that you take care of the personal side of things, too. Absolutely. And carved out some time, went and had a good dinner over at Castle in the Clouds. She loved it. I enjoyed it. And, it's quite a view up there for sure. Anybody who hasn't been up there, wear bug spray. Awesome. Yeah, well... Bugs are out everywhere. I don't care where you go. Maybe downtown Sanford there aren't so many, but anywhere else they're everywhere. Yeah, I got seven bites just sitting there. Yeah, I can show you right now. Are we comparing bug bites? Yeah, boy, I tell you, they're vicious is what they are. Andy, normally it's kind of funny because someone like you can come on and it is off the cuff conversation. Mm-hmm. Same with Kevin McKeon. He comes on. It's just we start and just go who knows where with some of the things that. He's a very interesting guy to listen to and talk to as well. So I don't have any specific agenda here today, but I do have a few notes. There's a new racing show on Seacoast Oldies. The show is called Mainly Motorsports, and we're supremely proud of the program. It's the culmination of a couple of different small projects that I want the station and the radio group to move forward with. And not only that, you want to touch everybody at every point, whether that's the radio side of things. It is a old school call-in show about racing that exists as a podcast, so it's available on demand after it's done, much like your show. This one will be available on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the different streaming platforms. People can call in. Yes. Well, what do they call in to? 324-1220. Really? Okay. Yeah. So basically like a call-in show. Yeah. So it's a call-in show meets a podcast, and it's also video streamed, so you can catch it live on YouTube and also on our Facebook page. So we're finding different ways to to reach the fan. So the racing fan, consumer, they obviously are in different places. Some people love to sit and listen to a live show and participate that way. Some people love racing, but they're busy between 6 and 7 on Tuesday night, so they'll watch it later. Or some people will want to catch it on their commute the next day or in 2 days. So we have it as a podcast. There are a lot of great racing shows out there. Many of them, are podcasts. Others stream video. Very few are radio shows. We're all three, so I think we're the only ones that are doing it this way.
Wow. Now, will it be, because in Sanford, if we go back to the 50s, 60s, had a drag strip at the airport.
Yeah, these pictures are from the drag strip.
Right, and the picture's right behind you. Plus, I also gave you a copy of the album cover, which is called The Sound of Sanford Drags. They actually recorded in what was that back then mono sound, whatever that is. I didn't. But they recorded the drags when they would take off from the starting line, the sound of the motors, the engines that were taken off.
You ever go to that?
You weren't even born probably back then.
No.
Yeah, I was probably 5 years old. I had never been to it, but my friends' brothers were a lot older than us, teenagers at least, when we were kids, 6, 7 years old. And they had, that's where the album, first time I saw the album, The Sound of Sanford Drags, was in my friend's brother's bedroom as we were snooping around looking for albums to play when we were kids, So it was a big deal back then. It's almost too bad we don't have Sanford Drags anymore. But
yeah, they won't even let them have concerts at the airport, let alone a drag strip.
You know what? Poor Dan Bowden. I feel bad for him in that respect because he put a lot of money into his place down there to be able to have different events.
And what he did was so unique, too. Just kind of flying people into the show, creating a moment for people on that platform to a stage. And you just hate to see stuff like that.
Yeah, it's too bad. But so your show, this new platform that you've got, streaming and podcasting, racing, are you covering drags too, or is it stock car racing? Or
it's stock car racing centric, and actually, it's not a new show. It's a reboot of a show that ran on public access TV for 15 years called Mainly Motorsports. And it started off with a guy that has Sanford roots, Mark Thomas. Well, he was one of the first hosts of the show. And then Steve Perry took it over in 2008 or 9 or whatever it was. And he's done 500 or so episodes. And now, once COVID happened and the idea of doing a public access TV show isn't as attractive as it was, say, 10, 15 years ago, just how people, consume media. We wanted to give it an updated look on how people consume media. And they do it in so many different ways. They don't just listen to the radio. They don't just watch TV. A lot of people have the second screen experience where they can be watching TV but on their phone.
Wow. Yeah.
So they're doing two screens at once. So,
is it as popular as it was years ago?
Racing?
Did it keep its popularity?
It depends on the people who love racing. Yeah. So it's become a sub-sport, much like blues is a sub-genre, where there are festivals dedicated to blues music, and tens of thousands of people will show up. But it's not considered a mass-produced product or mass popularity. It doesn't achieve mass popularity. Racing, it definitely has its challenges. We don't grow up with a car culture the way that you and I grew up.
Expensive.
Yeah.
To have a car.
It's crazy expensive. Kids don't grow up working with them anymore.
Yeah.
There are that do, but I mean, again, it comes down to the few and the passionate.
There are several people around Sanford that race. I don't know if you know, like Kyle Chandler.
I don't know
from Chandler's
Kyle.
Auto. You should visit him sometime.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of vehicles that he races, different places. I know somebody else. I don't know if they'd want me to say their name or not, but somebody else. Their daughter is a stock car racer.
Tristan Bodwell.
Oh, lives up by you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Bobby Bodwell's daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she's a stock car racer, right?
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, you got to come see her race sometime. She raced at a track that I announced at Lee a couple of years ago, and her dad's been racing since the 80s. Yeah, and he's still out there winning races.
It's pretty good.
The Bodwells are
welder
awesome.
too, I understand.
I'd never seen Bobby. I've seen him race, but I haven't seen him weld.
Yeah, well,
I'll take your word for it.
I haven't seen him do either, actually, but I heard. So yeah, I was over his house one day, and there was a stock car, some sort, in the garage he was tinkering with.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "So you're racing?" He goes, "Well, this is my daughter's car."
Yep.
I said, "Whoa, she's racing?" "Oh, yes." That's pretty neat.
Yeah, she's really good too. She's consistently top 5. She runs up front, and pretty competitive.
And it's kind of funny because you and I, when we first met, I found out where you grew up, which is not far from them, right?
Yeah, a couple houses down. Yeah.
Which was not far from where my mother grew up as well. Mm-hmm. So we had something in common there from way back when. Yep. Just a different era. You being a couple years younger than me.
Right. Yeah. But to answer your question, we'll cover New England Dragway. We'll cover Winterport up in Maine. There are definitely, and it's a racing extension of what we do on Seacoast Oldies, where we tell the stories of people who live in York County. We're very community based. As anybody who even casually listens to the station, I know you have a lot of summertime listeners who are checking us out for the first time. We're very locally minded. You can say you're live and local, but we live it.
Right.
And this is another version of that. We could talk about Joey Logano and talk about Tony Stewart and all the national guys, but there are other shows that cover that. This show focuses on people like the Bodwells and Kyle Chandler, I'm sure, will come up, and that's just Sanford. I mean, they're Bartlett Bridge over in Lyman. They're really developing an incredible movement of young racers there with their karting and the different things that they do. So, everything from karting to drags to stock cars.
There was an oval track down there in South Sanford as well.
I've walked it.
A dirt track.
Yeah. Well, it was asphalt.
Was it asphalt?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's an old track. Can you even find the remnants of it, I guess? But I know pretty much where it was.
Yeah, I mean, it's someone's property, so you probably don't want to we're not inviting people to go down and walk around there.
Yeah.
But I have admitted to sneaking in and walking around. You can kind of make out where the grandstands were.
Really? Yeah.
In the front stretch. Yeah, they were definitely. I did the same thing with the Dover Speedway, which is down by Willard Pond at the Dover Somersworth line. I actually grabbed a piece of asphalt from that. But there's so much history of racing in Sanford, whether it was Bob Turner, Bob Randall, Danny Palmer.
Danny Palmer, my neighbor.
Oh, that's right.
Springvale.
Yeah. Danny Palmer is one of the people, and I say one, meaning like one of two, that got me involved or interested in racing. And it was simply one of those, I wonder what's going on in that garage moments. You know how they used to work on the corner?
Yeah.
And he'd always have the open garage, and there'd be guys working on the race car.
Yeah.
And I would drive by or ride by my bicycle, and and I'm like, that looks so cool. I'd make my dad go and take me just to see what was going on there. So I got to meet Danny Palmer at a really early age, and then we'd go to Beach Ridge as spectators, and I'd root for the number 93 car because he was from my hometown.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, he was from my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So anytime, day or night, when they were doing some road testing right on 109 and Stanley Road there, Danny or David, didn't matter which one, they would squeal those tires out of that intersection in front of the garage and fly down the road. It was.
Is Stanley Road named after your family?
Yes.
I assumed that.
Yeah, and it's called Butler Corner Road, and then I guess Stanley Road in Sanford, but when you get to the Shapley line, I think
they wanted nothing to do with
back road. No, they weren't. No, but we were actually the whole road. I think at one time was Stanley Road, but because if you count the number of Stanley homesteads on that road from there to Shapley Corner, there were probably half the properties all the way up through were Stanleys. Once.
So who was the first Stanley to come across and grab all that land?
The first Stanley was a William Stanley from the Revolutionary War. Wow. Who's buried up on the top of the hill where Mike and Elsa Cook's farm is, just over the Sanford line.
Is it that dirt road?
No, it's a paved road all the way up, the back road all the way up to Shapley Corner. But their farm is right on the main road there, on the back road, or Stanley Road. And there's a cemetery up there now that's been identified, and there was a stone put in by the veterans recognizing William Stanley. He was a privateer in the Revolutionary War. So it goes back that far. Now, how much land he had up there at that time, I don't know, but he did have some of it. Now, again, that land has been parceled out and whatever, and different Stanleys owned it. And my grandmother owned a whole bunch of land. She gave when she moved off the farm, she gave each son a pick of what they wanted. So they picked property up there as well. And then up the street from them was my great uncle, and he had a big piece of land. I had another great uncle, had another big piece of land. So they seem to have bought a lot of land, but not just one specific family. You know, uncles, cousins, whatever, put all those properties together over time.
When they put up the power lines, did you have to acquiesce to the CMP or whoever put that up there?
Well, that was actually one side of that was not Stanley land, on the right side, I think, on the east side. On the west side was my uncle Carl's property. Yeah, and I'm sure he had to have some sort of a easement or something going through that property. I got to think. So that big power line. I remember as a kid when that was put up. Yeah, that's an amazing power line that goes up through there. But all those lands going up through there have changed hands now, and there's a lot less Stanleys that own it now. I wish I still had a piece up that way, but I don't.
No.
So, but I live in Springvale, so I'm.
And you have two motors on your boat, so
I do have two little motors on my boat. I told you.
So you're rolling it
because I'll be gone next week fishing. So next week, unfortunately, you'll have to play a rerun.
Okay.
I hate to tell the public that. I like to surprise them, but find a good rerun. There's a bunch of them.
But the thing is, half your audience wouldn't have known that.
Exactly. Not everybody can listen Sunday morning at 7 a.m.
Right.
But they should know that if they do miss Chamber Talk on Sunday morning at 7 a.m., you can go to Seacoast Oldies website and play it as a podcast
on our app as well. Hopefully you download
the app
that
as well, and or you can go to the Chamber website and click on Chamber Talk, and you can get it there as well. So I mean, so you can get Rick about anywhere, right?
Right.
So whether you want to or not.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on with the Chamber. I know you guys just had that big night with the Mainers a couple of weeks ago. That was a
fun time. Yeah. We had Motor Booty a couple of weeks ago. A nice crowd for that. We got brought over to the gym instead of Pilot's Cove. But as luck would have it, that was not a good night to be down at Pilot's Cove. It was rainy and cold. Yeah. And so having it at the old Memorial Gym, which has been updated, it's pretty nice in there. Modi Booty had a great time, and we probably had upwards to 175 people there. So it was a good night. So, and I had people that I didn't even know who they were. But I had to introduce Motor Booty, so they knew I was from the Chamber. And during the night, people came up to me and said, "Thank you for putting this on." So to me, that's a community event that the Chamber provided, for the public, and they appreciated it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Now we have summertime come, so we have music in Springvale at the Springvale Library every Friday from noon to 1. A different musician will play for an hour, all sponsored by Chamber members.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so bring your lunch, and we start late June, and if you went to the library's website, you can find it, because they post it everywhere, and the Chamber's website has it as well. We're at your studio, so I don't have the date exactly, but it's late June and runs into September.
That's awesome.
As long as it's not raining or a lousy day, every Friday from noon to 1. So there's another community program that the Chamber provides.
I really just laugh at this point. You have to roll your eyes and laugh when you dare to read community pages and people complain that there isn't anything to do in Sanford, Springvale. When are they gonna give us stuff? Not, they don't say it verbatim of when are they gonna give us stuff to do, or there's nothing to do in this town. Yeah. And literally every week there is a list of things that you can do for free, whether it's you or your family. I mean, and there are a lot of people, yourself included, who are working hard to continue to give those and provide those opportunities to the community. Even
if it isn't free, how many opportunity? Think about the opportunity to go to a Sanford Mainers game in the summer for what, $6?
Yeah.
If you want to eat, different story. But if you just want to go in and watch a ball game, maybe have a soda or even have a adult beverage now, you can get in there for $6 or $7.
Yeah, and you get home at a great, it's not like you have to pay for parking, like when you go to Hadlock or you go to Fenway or whatever. I love baseball. And even when I didn't I mean, I don't live in Sanford now, but even when I wasn't as entrenched as I am in the community, as I have been in the last year, I lived in Saco, and I would drive to Sanford just to have the experience of watching, the ball game, and I still call it the Babe Ruth Park.
Yeah.
But, just you're in, you're out. It's a quick game. You're home at a decent time, and it's affordable. Yeah. It's a cool summertime pastime.
It's as good a ball to watch. I'm not going to compare it to the Sea Dogs, but for kids,
yeah.
If you didn't say Sea Dogs and said Mainers, they wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
And to be able to come to into Sanford like that, if you're on the coast, you can come in. There's plenty of parking around downtown Sanford. You just walk to the ball field, no charge to park, $7 to get in. The food's great. They have all kinds of good food, and they play just like they have activities just like any minor league ballpark. They have a mascot, 2 mascots. They have
Boomer and Bruce,
and they come out on the field, and they have kids that come out on the field, and they'll do running the bases, or and they win prizes, and there's 50-50s, and it's very festive. It's not just come sit down watch the game.
It's a group of volunteers that are working really hard to give you and your family a good time.
Yeah. So say nothing to do. I'm sorry. There's something there.
Yep. We got 4th of July coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
There are I mean, that when I first started paying attention to the fireworks as an adult, and I hadn't been in town for a while, or the city, I still call it a town. I noticed that there were literally thousands of people here.
Yeah,
and I had remembered how big it was when I was a kid. I'm like, there's still a desire for a community to be together and enjoying things in Sanford,
mm-hmm.
And that was the first thing where I was like, you know what? There's some teeth to this. Let me explore this a little bit more. And
I stay away from it a little bit now. I had an old dog the last several years and never liked the sound of fireworks or lightning or anything like that. So I wouldn't get to go. I wouldn't go down because I didn't want to leave them alone. And anybody who has dogs that have anxiety from that, you want to be careful when you're around fireworks and.
Yeah, understood. I was just saying that I think it's a great.
It is a great thing.
Place or show place for our community to show what we're all about.
Yeah, and they have music usually that night as well. So the rec department puts on a good event, and in cooperation with downtown groups in the city of Sanford, it's all kind of a combination there. So 4th of July has been a big deal.
I can't wait this year. I think there's some really good momentum in the community. And 4th of July should be pretty large here. So I just checked, and we got 5 minutes left.
Okay, good. And for those listening here, Sanford has a really good 3rd of July. It's the fireworks are on the 3rd of July. In case anybody is thinking about that, we always get calls at the chamber. When's the fireworks? When's the fireworks? Always on the 3rd. The parade's always on the 4th. Just so people know, there are other places in York County to go to, too. You can
do a tour.
Go to Sanford on the 3rd and find some of the community to go see fireworks on the 4th. So it's really a good time of year for people that are vacationing and for people like us around here that like to go not too far, but can still have some fun.
What's your favorite firework?
I think Sanford, No,
I mean like the visual of the sound.
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I kind of like the sonic boom.
Yep, me too.
As it
you see it
resonates
flash,
up through, and
you're like, boom!
I kind of like that.
Yeah. It reminds me of something we talked about earlier. With you ever been to? So you never been to the Sanford Dragway, but have you been to Epping where they have the Top Fuel?
I never went. I can honestly say I've never gone to a car race dragway. I've been up to Weirs Beach.
Yeah. This will change your life. Go stand at the start line. Your entire body will shake.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't hear so well anymore. I have tinnitus, just so you know. My ears ring a lot.
Yeah, well, no, you'll have that even with ear protection.
Don't even need them
your
anymore.
Ears.
Can't hear anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, your body will completely just fall apart.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. Maybe you can take me sometime to one of these shows. That'd be kind of fun. So, there are other things. When you talk, I'm looking at because I'm in your studio, and I'm looking at this really nice, like cross country bike you've got out here in the
fat bike. Yes.
Yeah, with the big wheels on it and stuff like that. Have you been trail riding around town?
Yeah, I've been meaning to take my winter tires off forever. Those are the studded tires, which you don't want to be riding around on pavement with them. I kind of feel bad about that because they're expensive tires. But yeah, our trail system's awesome, man, and I find new trails to take all the time. I've been obviously a big fan of the railroad tracks. We've talked about that on the show before. But I just found out that we have a trail on the old sewer line down behind the new high school.
Sanford sewer line. Sanford, that goes out to the Sanford High School.
Yeah.
Nice trail.
We still call it the new school. Yeah,
the new school.
So, right. You can put in at the high school, and then you can ride back through. And I saw it on a map, and I'm like, how good could this trail really be? It's a great trail.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You ride a little asphalt past number 1 pond, then you get out by the dog park. You hook up through the Y. The Y has their trails behind. Then you get to the railroad track. You can go out to Alfred. You can take a left and go out to Lebanon. I mean, the trail systems are amazing around here.
I think the ultimate goal really was to have a trail that connected down to Wells and such, where you could eventually get on the
Eastern Trail.
I mean, years from now. But, the hope is that eventually we can connect to the Eastern Trail from up here.
What do you think is going to happen first? We have a turnpike connector or a connector to the Eastern Trail?
I think Eastern Trail's got a better shot than the turnpike connector, in my opinion, But it would be kind of cool to be able to do that. I will mention
Gorham can't get one.
No, I know. And that's probably a good thing in all reality. To go through that farmland like that would have been really... one quick thing I wanted to mention is that the Chamber, has received a grant to do a walking, biking trail map, which is with caricatures. The funky caricatures, like we'd have a picture of Andy Austin, but you might have these big elephant ears on you or whatever, riding some kind of bike. That's going to be brought to us by the end of June, I believe, for a finished product. An artist has done this, and it will recognize the trail system in Sanford through this kind of a funky map. I can't wait to show it to you when it's ready.
Are you the caricature?
No, I'm not. No.
Who is?
Just stick people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Haven't you ever seen one of those? Like,
but they drew me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
They just draw like funky things, like funky trails, funky birds, funky squirrels. Whatever.
I think they should have done one of Chief Small.
Well,
right?
yeah,
or you.
We didn't want to get into that.
Or Mayor Brink.
Well, no. It really, do you want to take the focus away from the value of this kind of map
I was just thinking of tying local personalities.
I know, you'd like to have us, so you can make fun of me all the time.
No, it would be making fun of you. I just think it would be part of the personality of Sanford.
Yeah.
But I know those jobs change out, so maybe not the Chief so much.
Yeah.
But,
and mine will change out pretty soon, too.
That's what you keep saying.
Yeah.
You're like Ozzy. You're not going to retire.
No. It's going to happen pretty soon.
Who's going to fill your shoes?
We don't know yet, and we'll figure that out. I'm just figure out how I can still have a radio show.
Yeah, I know.
At the end of the summer. I don't know if we can figure that out or not, but hopefully we could do something. Maybe I'll just come on with you in the morning.
I would love to have you on. You're a wealth of knowledge, and you also are a different voice, too. And it's one thing to listen to a radio show where the two hosts always agree. It gets kind of boring after a while. You need that good ebb and flow. You provide a different perspective, and 5 hours a day, I get bored hearing me.
I could argue with Dave Stevens for hours on end.
But so couldn't the rest of the world. Dave's on his own island.
I love him.
Yeah.
We must be close to the end.
Yeah. We can wrap this up.
Okay. We didn't get halfway through again, as usual, what I would have
What you want to talk about?
We'll save it for next time. Is
okay.
What we'll do. I'll be going on vacation, just so you know. I'll be going fishing for a week.
You better come back.
I will come back, I promise, and there'll be a lot to do when I get back. But I'm Rick Stanley, your host of Chamber Talk on 104.3 Seacoast Oldies. My guest today has been Seacoast Oldies Andy Austin. We appreciate him coming on my show. He's busy with his own shows, and Blues show on Sunday night he has, 6 o'clock.
6 to 7. Don't miss it. Your County's Blues Lounge.
So... hope you enjoyed my show this week, and I hope to be back